Rise Career Exploration is financially supported by listeners like you. Every dollar helps towards future podcast episodes. Click on the link in the show notes or visit us at risecareer.org today. Thank you for your support. Enjoy the show. And remember, together we rise.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome everyone. I'm your host, Corey Alexander, licensed school counselor, author, and entrepreneur. And this is Rise Career Exploration, the podcast, where we interview guests on their professional journeys. Choosing a career can be one of the most difficult decisions of your life. Join me as we interview guests on their professional journeys. You'll find that the twists and turns of career struggles aren't unique to you, and that the path to your dream profession isn't always a straight line. Whether you are a student who wants to learn what it takes to be in a specific career, or just want to hear some great career advice, this podcast is for you. Briana Loren's makeup style is geared towards complementing a woman's beauty and individuality. Briana believes that God has blessed all women with natural beauty and features, and makeup helps to bring light and focus to their beauty. Her services provide a fun, exciting, professional, and stress-free environment for all occasions. Briana is a Rutgers University alumni where she majored in dance and fine arts. So welcome, Briana, and thank you for taking the time to share your journey.
Yeah.
First, I have some students from Patterson Middle School, number 2. So I've been able to connect with them and their teacher, Alexander Hansen, and they've been providing some questions for these interviews. Okay. So I'm going to go to the first one, which is from Chance Jones. Have you ever did horror makeup, like for Halloween or a show of any type?
Yeah, so I never celebrated Halloween since I was little. Yeah. So very Christian home, like we don't deal with horror. So that's not anything that I really do. I've had a couple clients where, they'll say like they want dark eyes or maybe like a vampire-y kind of look, but like, no, I don't.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Question 2 is from Geraldine Vasquez. Do you want to create your own makeup company?
So I've gotten this question before, and there's so much makeup out, like skincare, makeup, there's so much. So if I did, I don't know, because there's so much that goes into it. That's a possibility. I have an aunt, and she used to have her own like makeup beauty, like body butters and creams like that. And she's always like, Brie, you need to make a line. Like you need to make a line. Plus it's $1 billion business on top of that. So maybe in the future, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, cool. This next question is from Irlim Torres. At what age did you first start doing makeup?
So I didn't get into makeup until I was 18. Oh. Normally, like a lot of makeup artists are like, oh, I used to watch my mom like put it on and stuff. And like, no, I started at 18, and it's only because I started working at Sephora. Okay. I would buy stuff from the drugstore for like myself. Like I did my own prom makeup, but it really wasn't until 18 years old.
Cool.
Yeah.
The next question is from Joelle Galvez. Are there any celebrities you've done makeup for?
So there's one, I actually met her last year, and she used to be a WWE diva wrestler. Yeah, her name was Kelly, and we actually linked like through a website that I used. She was coming into Jersey from LA for a job. I didn't know who she was because the website said Barbara, and I'm like, all right. And I ended up meeting her, and she's like, yeah, I used to be a WWE wrestler for 7 years. Like she does tour signing. She's got like 1.3 million followers on Instagram. And I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, that's probably the most famous person so far.
Nice. Question number 5 from Aaliyah Hernandez. What is your favorite thing about makeup?
So I mean, like I said, I didn't get into it till I was 18. And I don't even like now I love playing with product, like trying new products. But I think what really got me into it was having these like in-depth, deep conversations with these women that I'm applying makeup on. And you end up like learning so much about them. And then once they look at themselves in the mirror, you can just see like their confidence is higher. They just feel like their best selves and they feel confident. And then our conversations, I'm hoping, are like uplifting them and, you know, encouraging them. So it's really about, I think, the one-on-one connection that I make with the client and the customer that I really love.
Yeah, that sounds great. I used to own a barbershop, so I could imagine the connection is like similar. Yeah. This question is from Anila Singletary. How many years of practice did it take to become professional?
Wow. So I would say, honestly, I didn't really start doing it professionally until about 4 or 5 years of really like learning, being hands-on. I started doing clients and things like that at Sephora, probably at like year 2 or 3, I was working there. And I was there for 4 years. So by the 5th year I left, and then that was kind of like when I took it on upon myself to kind of do this professionally. So about 4 or 5 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is from Jocelyn Juamen Sanchez. What is your favorite type of makeup style?
Lately, I mean, and I think this might be a reflection of me, but anything that's like beauty makeup that like the person still looks like themselves.
Okay.
A lot of times like now makeup is very transformative to where like the before and after is very much like you're a different person. So as long as like it still compliments them, I love like a really nice smoky eye, like nude lip. But yeah, as long as they, you know, I like to compliment their features. I don't like to completely change who they look like.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This is from Stephanie De Leon. What's the most detailed makeover you've ever done and how long did it take?
So, I mean, I do a lot of like practice work on my own. So I'll have models that I'll reach out to through like Instagram or people that I know. Anything that deals with like graphic liner. So basically it's like a more intense eyeliner look where you might be creating like different shapes and things like that on the eye. So that probably maybe takes about maybe like 2 hours, you know, including the eyes, including the face, because it's very detailed and there's a lot of like cleanup work. So that's about any like really detailed eyeliner look. It probably takes a little longer.
Okay, cool. So thank you, Paterson, New Jersey School 2 and teacher Alexander Hansen for those questions. So now it's my questions. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Plainfield, New Jersey till I was 10. And then we moved to Jackson, New Jersey. What was that, like 2001? So I kind of like to say I grew up in both places because Plainfield is very much more like not as suburban as here. So when we moved out here, I was like, where are we? There's horses and nothing but trees. Like, why did we do this? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Jackson, New Jersey, it's very quiet. Like if you want your space and you want no one to be around you, move to Jackson. Yeah.
And you're close to Great Adventures, right?
Literally my backyard. Like there's a back way where you can be in the back of the safari, seeing the zebras. Like, yes.
Cool. What kind of high school student were you?
Oh man, okay, so I was an A student because that was not an option. Like, you know, always in extracurricular activities. I danced, I played basketball. So like it was always something going on after school. In high school, I did musical theater. So like I was in plays. I went to performing arts high school. So I studied dance during school, but very, I would say, focused, like made sure I got my work done before we did anything. Like that was definitely, you had to in the Pendergrass household. Like you did the work, you did it, you studied, all right, you can go do your thing. Nice.
Yeah. Tell us about your time at Rutgers and studying fine arts and dance.
Yeah, so like I said, I went to performing arts high school, and there I ended up actually connecting with Rutgers that way. Our dance program would bring in college dance programs. and it would be their companies and they would perform, and then Rutgers would scout dancers that they wanted to come to the school. So they came to my high school, I was scouted. I had to do the audition process, and then I ended up getting like one of their biggest scholarships at Rutgers for Mason Gross. And I didn't even know like you could get a scholarship in dance until they came. And that was amazing. I was right in New Brunswick, like the large campus. And I went from being in like high school where there was about 25 people in my class to going to Rutgers, which was like 40,000 plus students. And I loved it because I think from moving to Jackson and just like everything being, you knew everybody and there wasn't a lot of people, going to Rutgers, it was just an opportunity to like, you can go on 5 different campuses and meet all different types of people. And I loved it. I would do it over again. The dance program was amazing. We had so many amazing opportunities to perform and create our own work. So it was awesome. I loved it.
Nice. Yeah. What were some of your early career goals?
So, my early career goal was definitely you're going to be like in Alvin Ailey, or you're going to be on Broadway, singing, dancing, acting, especially in high school and college. And throughout that, you audition and you go into the city and you get up at like 6 a.m. and you go to an audition and you hope that you get seen because you're non-union, which is like, that's a whole nother world. But I definitely went to be a professional dancer, like on Broadway, or in like a major dance company. And now I'm a makeup artist, which is the complete opposite. But that was my goal. That was definitely my goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
When your goal shifted to makeup, what was the reaction to those closest to you?
I think it was kind of just like, all right, my parents are very supportive, like whatever you want to set your mind to do and do, like we did it wholeheartedly. So I think when I had studied dance, I had danced from 5 to 21 years old. Wow. And when I graduated and I said, like I really want to focus on makeup, they were just like, okay, like let's do it. I had met my husband in college. So he saw me dancing my senior year of college, and then literally a shift from like dance to makeup. And he was like, dude, you could do it. Like, he was like, you're talented enough, just keep working at it. And so it was a positive response. Nobody was like, sometimes your parents are like, we paid all this money like for dance lessons and things like that. But if they're instilling in you the discipline, because dance is very much like a discipline, not only body wise, but just like showing up and taking care of your body in ways that like, so you can perform again. They were very much like, listen, you've stayed disciplined throughout your entire childhood, high school, college career. They were like, do it, like, just go for it.
That's what's up. That's awesome. Yeah. How did you first go about getting clients?
So working at Sephora was a huge help because you're doing makeup there. You're meeting a bunch of different people. You're helping them find products. And if you do people that, you do someone and they say, wow, I really like your work. Do you have your number? A lot of the times that's what would happen. Like you had someone at the store, they were like, do you go to the home? And will you travel to me? And I was like, absolutely. So it kind of started there. After I worked at Sephora for 4 years, I went to Nordstrom and worked for Laura Mercier, which is another makeup company. And again, just like you're in store and you just end up meeting all these people, you're doing their makeup and they're like, I want your number. So a lot of the times that's really how it built. I didn't even have a website then. Like I didn't have Instagram that much back then, but it was really like the face-to-face interactions.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, that's a good segue to getting clients. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a woman of color, did you experience any roadblocks to getting clients that weren't women of color?
For sure. I think because of where I live, which is like Jackson, Freehold, it's just a predominantly white area. So I ended up, like most of my clients at first were all white women. With maybe the occasional, like I'm in Nordstrom, there's a Black girl walking in the cosmetics section and she's like, hey, because I was maybe the only Black girl that she saw, and we would connect that way. But I actually had to start intentionally asking like people that I knew, whether it was like my sisters. I had to start practicing makeup on myself. I would find models that were like darker skin. Like I had to actually practice how to do women of color's makeup more because I always had, you know, white women as clients. So I think it definitely has to do with the area where you're in.
Okay.
Because that's just the people that you meet and you hire. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, cool. Looking at your Instagram account, I would say you have a living bio that proves how amazing you are. Can you talk about the power that social media has had in obtaining customers?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, social media is literally like your portfolio for me anyway. So that's really my main account. I have a personal one. I really don't use it. But what I can see is that most people, especially when I work with brides, but even like just the everyday girl who's just like, it's my birthday, I want to get glammed. Like they go to Instagram to find people in their area. So I have so many people who, and this is just from me being consistent. Like I'm posting, I'm creating my own content. I'm also using the content from my clients. I'm taking pictures with them. I'm doing video, but a lot of people that end up DMing me for jobs or like email, they're like, no, I literally searched hashtag New Jersey makeup artist and found you.
Wow.
And that's happened more so, I would say, last year into this year more than any other year. A lot of other ways I got clients was just word of mouth. So people were like, hey, you did my friend, you did her wedding, you're great, like I want to connect with you. And then a lot of it now, it's like DMs. Like it's just like, hey, I saw your work, can we connect? And I'm like, absolutely. So I can see being consistently present on your social media is good if you're using it for your profession and for whatever career you want to go into.
Yeah. And you're always comfortable going to a client's house? Like, how does that work? Like, don't you feel like...
I remember when I first started that because my husband was like, bruh, where are you going? Like, and he was coming with me at first.
Yeah.
So he would say, you know what, let me ride with you or send me the address. And a lot of times, you know, I would say, okay, I'm here. I'm going to be here from this time to this time. He always had the address. But I remember in the beginning, it was a little odd for sure. Cause you're like, these are strangers.
Yeah.
I wasn't even taking deposits back then. So it was kind of just like, hey, meet me January, whatever at this time. And I never felt uncomfortable. I can say there's never been a time where I've experienced where I've had to leave a client.
Okay.
And I think that has a lot to do with the communication. Like I don't have anything where you can just go online and book with me and I show up. All my clients, we're talking. So whether that's through email, text message, a phone call, we are talking before I even show up. And then now you're booking a deposit, you know, you're putting money down to make sure that I'm coming. But in the beginning, yeah, it was strange, just like rolling up to strangers' houses and you're just like, hey, I'm here. But now it's like, that's a new thing. Like, I think especially with COVID, like a lot of people prefer for you to come to them rather than having to sit in a salon or like a Sephora or anything like that. So yeah, and I'm comfortable with it now.
Good.
Yeah.
How do you decide what to charge someone?
So when I first started booking, I actually just looked it up. Like I was like, New Jersey makeup artist, like what's the average rate? And this is when I would say like the first and second year I started getting professional, like becoming a professional in it. And anywhere from like $65, $75, you know, you have 1 year of experience, like, you know, you're new at it. But honestly, now I kind of factor in, you know, okay, where do I have to travel to? That's the number one. Yeah. My years of professional, the years I've been doing this professional go into it too. So like your first year, second year, like maybe you could charge, a lot of people charge anywhere from like $65, $80 per person. I think as you get more experience, the price goes up, just like anything else. Like you go into a store and your favorite lip gloss was $16 and next year it's $17.50. Like it's gonna increase. But yeah, travel for sure. What's in your kit? So like you can have a makeup kit that has, you know, L'Oreal, like Revlon, which is kind of like drugstore brands. It's not that expensive. Or you can have a kit that has YSL, Dior, Armani, like that stuff ends up being like $60, $70 for a foundation. And those are the things that you have to replenish. So you're kind of thinking about that too. Okay, I have a bridal party and I know I'm going to use a good amount of my kit because I've got to do 6 or 7 people and I've got to travel. Like it's got to be worth it in numbers wise, like how much I'm going to make to then replenish whatever I need to replenish. I've got to get lashes. I've got to pay toll. I've got to do gas. So yeah, I kind of just like looked it up, factored all that in, and then you kind of just get a gauge of what people are charging in the area. And then you kind of find your medium there.
Oh, nice. That all makes sense. That's good stuff. What are your short-term and long-term goals?
I don't think it's funny. Like, I'm not a person that's like, by this time I need to be doing this. Like, no. Realistically, like ever since I've said like, Lord, lead me and guide me wherever you want me to go, like those goals are kind of like, like, so, I kind of like will say, okay, this year, like I started working with brands on Instagram and social media, YouTube and things like that. So for me, I kind of say, all right, I try to set a short-term goal maybe of like, all right, I want to make sure I get 1 to 2 YouTube videos out weekly because I know if I'm doing that, that'll generate focus and interest from other brands to then get some brand deals. So I kind of like, it's more so realistic goals. I don't necessarily have like a long-term, this is where I want to be. But I'm very open to where my job takes me because this was not the plan, like at all. Like I was not sitting around here like you're going to be a makeup artist. I didn't. And God has plans, man. And I'm willing to go wherever he says. Go.
Yeah. So it's kind of similar to if you would have been a dancer because that would have took you to who knows where, right?
Exactly. Like, and
that mindset.
Yeah. And I still to this day, I'm like, anytime I want to start dancing, I can start dancing again. Like I stay fit, I'm in shape. Like I could do that if I want to, but I have just received so much like the confirmation from God. Like, no, this is what I want you to do. These women, they need help. Like they need care and attention and love. And it's not just about makeup that you put on and take off. Like it's about what's in here, like what's their makeup, what are you made of? And so many women sit in my chair and they're like, Brie, I just feel like revived just from like an hour conversation, so
that's beautiful.
That's what it's about. Yeah,
that's awesome. You got a little ministry in there too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. I'm so ready to be like, and can we pray? Like, but you know what? It ends up happening where like, especially weddings, like your time frame and you're on a time schedule. And even like earlier today, I had a photo shoot, like the photo shoot, she was late, like everything ran late. But it's those little in-between moments where like people see your kindness and people see your love, and that's like God's light. And that's what it's about. Amen.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How do you decide what brands of makeup to use on what skin tones?
So it's a lot of experience of just like playing with a lot of product. Working at Sephora and Nordstrom like is so good because it allows for you to just try a bunch of things. Plus you get a bunch of free makeup. So like anybody who's interested in makeup, but like you're not sure where to start, like working at a cosmetic store is very good because they're going to give you a bunch of product. You're going to be able to see like what works for you. Then you're going to be doing makeup on other people. And then you start to learn about like skin types, dry, oily, and most of the time the products are curated for your skin type. So from work, I started in cosmetics in 2010, like it's 2022 now. And I still watch a bunch of YouTube videos. Like I watch other makeup artists, like what are they using? What works best if someone has acne? What works best if someone's has like really dry, flaky skin? Like, I just really am about education, and I'll just keep watching videos, trying products out, and just seeing, because there's new products coming out every single day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you just want to really educate yourself on like what's good for specific skin types and skin tones.
Do clients prefer certain brands sometimes? Some of your clients, do they insist on?
Sometimes people ask, like they'll say, what's in your kit?
Oh.
And I don't know if that's because, I've told them the price and they're like, well, why is she charging me this? Everybody has a different, but a lot of people are just like, listen, they'll ask me what my favorite brands are, but I think they have enough trust in me that, hey, you're coming here, you're the expert. So they're like, whatever you think is best, you pick. And I always have questions where I'm like, tell me about your skin. Tell me about how your makeup lasts throughout the day. Does it stay? Do you get shiny? Does it fade away? And then I can kind of gauge, okay, I'm going to use these specific products.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's one thing you had to learn the hard way early in your career?
Probably, okay, and I'm still learning this, but like probably just like budgeting, like the accounting, like the tax type stuff for what I do. Because at first you're just like, I was working a regular job, let's say, like where I would go into store and help people. And then you're getting all this extra cash, like on the weekends. And really like budgeting, and then like, what are you filing out for your taxes? Like, because I would do my own taxes, and then you end up, you're like, I owe now, like, So, and I'm still learning that. So I think more so like the budgeting, because it can be a quick business. Like you can make like one day in a wedding, like $1,000, $1,500 in a day, like. And then you're just like, I got all this money and I'm young. I'm like 22, 23 years old, like making all this. So I think like budgeting was something that I'm still learning, but like earlier on, it's kind of like you do want to educate yourself on that, like when that amount of money is coming in. Yeah. That's good.
If you were speaking to an aspiring makeup artist, what would be the ideal roadmap you would suggest them to take?
So I would say, one, what kind of makeup artist do you want to be? Because there's different kinds, right? So I remember when I was getting into it, a lot of people were like, are you going to get your cosmetology license? Because makeup is immediately, correlated with getting a license. And I was like, no, because most of that is hair. Like you're learning a lot about hair, coloring, cutting, like all that stuff. And there's a very small portion that you learn about makeup. But if you want to be a makeup artist in a salon, you have to have a cosmetology license. If you want to do what I do, which is freelancing in New Jersey, in New York, you don't need a license. So you kind of want to figure out what you want to do, and then what kind of road do you want to take? Because, bridal is one road where you can make a lot of money, it's long days, it's a lot of people, but like that's one road. You can also say, okay, I want to be a makeup artist who does editorial shoots, works with photo shoots and fashion models. And then there's a whole nother path that you kind of have to take in building a portfolio of work that looks like the work you want to do. Then there's this whole new wave of like makeup artists who just, work with a lot of different celebrities, and they work with models, actresses, like things like that. And a lot of them are they're found on Instagram. Like for an example, like Kylie Jenner's makeup artist, whose name is Ariel, they literally just like DM'd each other, and she saw his work and was like, I want you to work with me. And now he does her and the entire Kardashian family. So I think you just kind of want to see what line of work do I want to do as a makeup artist, and then really educate yourself on, okay, what are the steps that I need to take? Because then you have the whole social media realm where there's a bunch of people who just do makeup on themselves and they get paid from different brands. I don't even have to do a person. And I can just make money off of social media, YouTube. So there's so many avenues. And I would just say, look at what realistically you want to do, and then kind of follow that path.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are 3 things do you enjoy most?
Like in general?
In, in your profession.
Oh, in my profession? That's a lot. In my profession, I love playing with makeup. I probably buy makeup every single week. Well, I don't need it, but I really do enjoy trying new makeup. And it's probably because too, I have a YouTube channel. So I review a lot of products. I talk about a lot of products, but yeah, I think I will buy makeup for the rest of my life. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. It's funny too, because even today, my client was about an hour and a half away, and she was like, oh, that's a far drive. But like the drive to a job is very relaxing, like very much something I enjoy. I can kind of just like take time to myself, because most of the time I'm by myself, and kind of just prepare for the day, like prepare for my customers, like get in a good mindset. And then the third one will probably be creating my own content. So like lately I've been, like I said, I get models and they come over to the house, and I'll make like Instagram reels, like I'll create my own looks. And that's probably my favorite because it gives me the most creative freedom. And a lot of the times, like my clients are very much like, I just want basic, natural, like, and I don't know if that's just this area where I'm around, but when I get to create, like that's my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so conversely, what's one of the hardest aspects of the profession? Doesn't seem like you have any though, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's not anything hard. I think the hardest thing sometimes is like when I have a wedding and let's say it's like a big bridal party of like 10, 12, 13, like that's a long day. And like standing on my feet for that long afterwards, I'm just like, oh. And then, so it's like you drove, then you stood for like 6 hours. Now you got to drive back home. And then if I have a job the next day, I have to clean everything. Like, and that to me is just like, I could hire someone to clean my stuff because the amount of brushes and sponges and just, it's a lot. So that's probably the cleaning aspect, and like standing on my feet is the hardest probably.
But that's the best payday at wedding, right?
Oh my God, yeah. That's a great payday. I mean, it's a long day, but like I said, you can walk away with like $1,000, $2,000 if they tip well. Like, hey, you're like, it was all worth it. The 6-7 hours was worth it. Yeah.
Nice. How do you or did you deal with unsatisfied customers?
I can count on one hand how many unsatisfied customers I am, thank God.
Amen.
But sometimes it's not necessarily even that you can tell that they're unsatisfied in the moment. Like sometimes, I've had on 1 or 2 occasions where you can kind of tell by their body language, like they don't want to say that they didn't like it. Mm-hmm. But I'm very much a person who I will sit there and be like, and I'll say, no, what do you want to change? Do you want to add something? Do you want to take away? Is it too much on the eyes? Like I will ask so many questions so that way they don't feel like I paid for this and then, I hated it, because there's so many stories that I hear where they're just like, yeah, I paid $100-something and I went and washed my face and like I hated it. And I'm like, I want to make sure all my clients know that they could say, Brie, hold on, this isn't right, or can we add more of this? So I'm very much open to criticism, to what don't you like, let's change it. So that way they feel comfortable.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah.
Some makeup artists, they just are interested in what they want to do. And then the person doesn't feel like they can say anything. So I just want to make sure that they know they can come to me and say, hey, Brie, can we, change this or add this? And I say, of course.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, communication.
Yeah, yes.
Are clients a blank canvas and just say, do your thing? Or is there a back and forth regarding how they want to look?
So 50-50, honestly. Like I just had a trial and it's so interesting. I had a bride and it's crazy because it's the women who don't wear the most makeup who are, I think, the pickiest. So they're like all natural. They're like, I don't like a lot. And then I end up doing their makeup and they come back and they're like, I have notes and I want to change this. And I'm like, okay, which is no problem. So a lot of times, like, let's say it's a wedding, I'm doing a bridal party. Now, realistically, me and the bride are the only one who have had a trial. We've talked about what she's wanted. We talked about changes. Everybody else, for the most part, I tell them, bring a picture of a look that you like. And if they don't have a picture, most of the time they're like, just Brie, do your thing. But then you have some people who are very picky and they're like, I don't like eyeliner. I don't like a lot of lash. I like my brows this way. Like they come with pictures, printouts. And I'm just like, no problem. Like I do my best. So yeah, you get 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For someone just starting out, how much money would they need to buy their starter kit?
So, like I said, what I would do, is I would research what are some good products to have in your kit. And you could go YouTube, just like top products to have in your kit that last long, work for a lot of different skin tones. Money-wise though, if we're talking brushes, we're talking foundation, we're talking about the actual kit that you carry your stuff in. Easy, at least maybe I would say 300, 400, maybe for a starter.
All right.
And it might be where not everything is high end. Maybe just you have some high end products in there. You've got some drugstore. And if you're adding a light though, if you're adding a light to your kit, I would add another extra 150. So maybe 500.
500. Okay.
Starter kit. Yeah.
So what are your out-of-pocket expenses?
So out of pocket is always gas, food, tolls, wherever I go. Things that I'm buying on the regular for my clients is always lashes. Lashes, just, you gotta just replenish those. I also count my car insurance, my cell phone bill, because that's all part of the business that I have to use. And those are things that I will write off. And then anything major in the kit, foundations, concealers, those are things that you're going to be replenishing. Maybe it really depends on how busy you are. But let's say you've got weddings once a week, every weekend, or one to two weddings a weekend. Maybe at the end of every month, you're probably maybe buying one or two foundations, one or two concealers. And again, that goes to what's the skin tone of the people you're doing. So for me, a lot of the time still it's white women, Caucasian women. So those are the colors that I have to replenish more often rather than my darker skin shades. I'm not doing as many clients, but yeah, those are the main expenses, monthly, weekly, that are coming out.
Cool. Do your clients prefer certain brands of makeup? Not necessarily. Sometimes when my kit is open, you can tell that they're kind of looking and they're okay, you've got, Dior, NARS. And then they're oh, and then they'll say, I use those products too. So I think when they see things that are similar or very well known, it kind of makes them more comfortable. But no one has ever said are you using MAC or otherwise you can't do my makeup? I haven't had that. Good. What has been a worst case scenario for you and what did you learn from it?
Okay, worst case scenarios. This is something that I've learned recently, and this goes back to taking booking deposits, because before, when you're new about it and then you're talking about money with your clients, sometimes it can be uncomfortable, you know? So what I was realizing is, especially wintertime, but people cancel for all different reasons, especially COVID, okay? And this was really happened. All my weddings and stuff got canceled for COVID.
Wow. Normally
I only take deposits for weddings, but I have a lot of clients where it's maybe one client or two clients at a time and I wasn't taking deposits. So I'm expecting this money on this day and then COVID hits and it's all that stuff is canceled. And I'm I didn't see any type of return on me booking that date, holding that date. So what I ended up learning was, you've got to take a booking deposit. And whether it's $25, $30, $50, whatever it is that you decide, because things change. And because I'm a freelancer and because I literally my jobs come in, some days I get a text and they're are you free tomorrow? And then some days it's months out. I'm you gotta just cover yourself that you're getting some type of income, because anything happened. I had clients this Saturday because of the snowstorm that's coming, cancel. $400, $500 gone. You know what I'm saying? But at least I was able to get a booking deposit.
Okay.
I was able to receive something from that, but I can see that is something I could have been doing from the very beginning. And I just started doing last year.
Yeah, that sounds like a great tip for people. Thank you.
Yeah.
What is a major error you notice inexperienced makeup artists do?
They don't listen. They don't listen to their client. So I have so many customers where they're just like, I asked for something specific and they did not do what I asked for. And I think that's because you're excited, like you have a vision, you're looking at your client as a blank canvas that you want to paint and create, but like not everybody is down with your vision. So I think listening to what your customer wants, to what your client wants, ask so many questions. Like there's so many times where you think everything's covered. No, ask more questions. Like even like I said, you finish your makeup with your client, ask them, are you satisfied? Are you happy? Like, is there anything that you want different? And I think that just makes a difference in the client wanting to hire you again. Like she listened to me, she asked me questions, I felt comfortable, or he. And I think that's the main thing. So many people just listen and communicate. That's great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you credit your success to? Jesus Christ. No, it's real because I remember when I wanted to start freelancing and I was scared because freelancing means like you don't have a set schedule. Yeah. You don't know when you're going to get clients. Like you have to put a lot of work in yourself, and it's different from working when you're working for somebody and you're working for yourself. So I remember I just really wanted to do it. And I remember God was like, do it, and I'm going to take care of you. And it really is a co-laboring, like you're working together with him and you're also working towards what you want to do. So, a lot of the stuff, even now, I do makeup for free. Like I work with brands and I give them a post for free because I know I'm investing in, later on, they're going to say, Bree was helping us, she was able to work with us without pay. Okay, now we have something to offer you. Now we can offer you this type of compensation. So definitely like hard work, perseverance, like stay disciplined, stay at it, don't give up, and trust that God has a plan for you, that he's going to order your steps. Yeah, amen. That's awesome. Yeah. So we have come to our last question, but before we ask it, is there anything you'd like to share that I might not have gone over? You were very thorough. Thank you. Very thorough. I don't think you missed anything. All right, cool. Yeah. Our final question is this. If you could text your younger self, what age would you text and what would the message be? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'm 29. So I started texting when I was 13. So I feel like the text would have been like probably at like 16. 16. You make all these plans in your head. Like I remember, I'm like, I'm not getting married. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I think I probably would have texted myself at 16, like what the things your parents are making you do, like pray, do devotionals, like go to church, they're all going to matter in 5 years. Like, don't take it for granted. And I would definitely say just, God really has a plan for you. And it might not look like the plan that you have in your own mind. Like, and he's going to take care of you. Like, it really is something when you get older and then you really see in your life, like, okay, I get why my parents prayed this much. I get why, we read the Bible and they taught me the things that they taught me because they're so crucial now more than ever. So yeah, definitely would have been like, don't take these moments for granted. Like, and God has a plan for your life. That's beautiful. Yeah. Did you share that with your parents? What are you saying? Did you share that with your parents? Like, your job? No. There's been times where I'm like, no, I get why you did the things that you did. And they make sense now. Yeah. Amen. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for your time, Briana. We appreciate you. And we hope your journey has blessed our listeners. Thank you. So happy to be here. Yes, thank you. So share your socials so I can put it in the show notes. Okay, I will. Yeah. And I need a selfie for your avatar. Okay, cool. All right, thank you. I appreciate you. No problem. This is awesome.
Have a great day. I'll let you know. It's going to be out Tuesday. I'll send you the link.
Perfect.
All right. Blessings.
Bye, you too.
Bye. Thank you for spending time with us. Please share, review, and subscribe now. Follow us on social media, where we post new guest alerts and show recaps. All the information will be in the show notes. Thank you and be blessed.